Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Arcana Check. And welcome, especially back, to something that was long forgotten. Another episode of View Review. Now today, we're going to be taking a look at a movie that has a very special place in my heart, and that is the 2021 release of Dune. Now, this version of Dune is very different from what we've seen in the past. Originally, we had the 1980s Dune, which I grew up watching and loving, and it brought me into this whole world of Arrakis and Caladan and Giedi Prime, etc., etc. Houses Harkonnen, Atreides, the Fremen. It's a vast series. That's probably the best way to describe Dune, is that it's vast. And the fact that it's set on a desert planet just kind of goes to show what that is. Now, for some background, the original Dune was, I like to think of it as visually pretty darn accurate to the books, especially to the first book. The plot, however, gets some Razzies out there. It's a movie that is both looked fondly upon and kind of joked about. Then there was a second Dune movie. This was done by the Sci-Fi Channel, back when they were wanting to make good made-for-television movies. And let's see, can I remember it now? Don't remember the actor who played Paul Atreides, but the second movie was very accurate to the plot of Dune, to what happens in the book, but really kind of stretching it in terms of things like costuming. Like, the costumes were so out there that it was distracting. It was almost like the Capitol, the people who lived in the Capitol in Hunger Games. So, but that also gave rise to the second movie, which was Children of Dune. And these weren't movies on Sci-Fi Channel. These were actually miniseries. So you got a much longer time frame to explore all of the intricacies that were happening. And Children of Dune made up both the book Children of Dune and Dune Messiah. So while it was a miniseries the same length as the first Dune miniseries, it crammed two books into one. So you lost a little bit, but that one actually starred James McAvoy, Professor X from the X-Men First Class movies, Wanted, brain fart. Wow, my brain died. Chronicles of Narnia. I kept thinking that. Wow. Anyways, Children of Dune, much more accurate to everything. You had to lose a lot of bits and pieces, though, in order to cram two books into one single miniseries. I think it was a 4-episode miniseries, but each episode being 2 hours long. Now you have this new adaptation of Dune, or should I say Dune Part 1, because they have done in a 2.5-hour long movie only the first half of the book Dune. So that at least you're going to get like 5 hours worth of high quality storytelling and filmmaking in order to tell the whole story. And I think that's probably for the best, except with how long this movie got delayed because of COVID. Who knows how long we're going to have to wait for part 2 to come out. But anyways, so this movie is directed by Denis Villeneuve. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He is a French-Canadian director who's probably best known for, at least in circles that might watch this channel, for directing Blade Runner 2049. And I think that's an important point to make. Because the best way for me to describe Dune is that it's slow moving. It takes its time. Kind of like me when I start explaining things. I take my time. It's not your Guardians of the Galaxy, where it's a big space romp, action, 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 action all over the place. This is more, I wouldn't say plodding, because nothing ever feels stale, but it's quieter. It's more thoughtful on what it's doing, which is perfect for the book Dune. Dune is a very slow moving thing that's not all about action. Yes, there are amazing action sequences here where the House Harkonnen bombs House Atreides and there's hand-to-hand combat, and you understand why these futuristic people with interstellar space travel and ships and the ability to mine spice and do all these crazy things are fighting with swords, because they've adapted a way to basically protect themselves from things like bullets. Now, interestingly, lasers could be a problem. But anyways, so I'm not going to go for a shot-by-shot breakdown of this. I'm just giving my basic opinion on this. 1, the plot. The plot was, in my opinions, very accurate. Now, it's been a while since I've read the book Dune, so I can't attribute it for how exactly accurate it is, but from my memory, pretty darn accurate. Definitely accurate enough to be a good adaptation of the book. Now, the thing that got me in the second Dune, in the miniseries, the costuming, chef's kiss. It was spot on. The still suits were awesome. As they say, the ceremonial garb that they had to wear when meeting envoys of the Emperor was exactly what you would expect from a prim and proper House Atreides. The Harkonnens were basically never out of battle armor. They're always ready to fight. The representatives for the Empire, when House Atreides basically signed on to be stewards of Arrakis or of Dune, they had these very interesting kind of helmets and bodysuits on to completely disguise who they really were, which I thought was really cool. This is a universe where it's not specifically about pomp and circumstance and stuff like that, where, oh, I've got to be seen. This is more of a secretive political life that's being lived. And so these people that are at the top of the game, they don't want to necessarily be seen as being in this location, but they know that it's important. They know the Emperor knows they're there, and that's really what matters to them. So they can go about looking all crazy futuristic. I'm forgetting the name of the music group that dresses in the big fancy sci-fi helmets, but it kind of looked like that. So if you know, you know. So all in all, I loved this movie. I thought there were times where maybe got a little on the quiet side, like relying on the audience catching as every whisper, because so much of it was told in whispers. And it's funny because there's, right at the beginning of the movie, there's a scene, and it's been in a lot of the press releases and stuff, where Lady Jessica, Paul Atreides' mother, is trying to get him to use the voice. And the first time he goes, oh, if you want the water, use the voice. Make me give it to you. And he just kind of quietly mumbles, give me the water. And she's like, the glass couldn't hear you, let alone me. And then oddly enough, throughout the rest of the movie, she's whispering. The Bene Gesserit Mother Superior or Reverend Mother, she's whispering all the time. Dr. Yui, oh my gosh. Whisper, 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 whisper. And I guess that brings me to my last little thing, which is maybe my favorite part of this movie. Definitely something super subtle and something that makes no sense to be my favorite thing, but it's such a fine attention to detail from the books that I love having it in there. And that was the hand talk that Lady Jessica, Paul, some of the servants, that they would use. This is something that you did not see in the 80s movie. You saw it a little bit in the miniseries, but it was really emphasized here. And it goes, you have them talking quietly, but there are times when silence and communication have to exist at the same time. And the hand talk does it, and it's beautiful. There are so many things that I'm reminded of when watching Dune or reading Dune that remind me of Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time. The Fremen and the Aiel are so spot on close. The use of hand talk in Dune is so similar to the maiden hand talk used by the Maidens of the Spear in the Wheel of Time. Even Paul being the one, being the Maudie, the chosen one, is very similar to Randall Thor being, the Dragon Reborn. So that's a whole other set of thoughts or a whole other time, and I haven't even thought about it that hard. It's just something that kind of floated through my brain. So all in all, I thoroughly enjoyed I thoroughly enjoyed Dune. I just called it the Wheel of Time. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks lately. No, I thoroughly enjoyed Dune. I am looking forward to Dune Part 2 whenever that might come out. I'm not going to give this a rating because it's only a Part 1 and I want to save that for the end. So my recommendation though, go see it. See it in the theaters because there's something about the grand scale of this that requires you to see it on a big screen. So with that said, thank you for joining me. This has been another review. Maybe we'll do more of these in the future. I kind of like it. I can just talk off the top of my head. Enough rambling, ranting. This is Chris, and I will see you guys later.